So now the polyurethane is completely cold and we can start to peel off the plastic bag. You will see it's coming off really easily. We pull off the Durex and cut it. And so we can carve the volume of our sculpture from the cylinder. So I take again the sketch I did and I use it to mark the size of the final sculpture. I need to remember that I need the internal volume smaller than the final sculpture. So I'm marking the size and with my kitchen knife I start to cut. And I'm starting to carve. And it's important when you are a beginner that you draw on the polyurethane what you need to cut out. The more experience you have, the easier it is to do in a free way. And I use the drawing. I pick which side is the front. And so basically what I need to do is drawing the shape on the polyurethane. So here is my head. Here are the shoulders and the neck. And I leave this block almost the same as it is, because you can see here is really smallest. It doesn't matter if the polyurethane is smaller, because you can always put more clay to shape the volume, the final volume. So I start to shape the silhouette with the knife. And after that, I'm working on the side, and it's basically the same thing. So I'm working with the profile shape, and the good thing, I can see the stick inside because the polyurethane is quite transparent. So here I'm drawing the neck, and here I have the head. And always remember that better smaller than larger, because you can always compensate with clay, with more clay. And once again, with the knife, I'm carving out the shape. And you can notice that I'm not carving the arms. I'm just doing the head, the neck, the body. I prefer to do the arms by themselves because they are quite thin, so it's not so easy to do in the polyurethane, and it's better to do directly in clay. So just keep in mind that when you need to do a volume of 1 or 2 inches, you just stick a wire in the polyurethane and you just cover in clay. And in my case, the arms are attached to the body, but I do the same if they are in a position like that. So I stick in the volume a wire and I just cover with clay. So now I'm starting to check how I'm doing. At the beginning, I'm carving without much details, but then it's very important to check with the sketch if you are doing right. So remember not to carve details. For example, if you are doing a face, you want to avoid to carve the nose, the eyes, the mouth, because you can see later that it's unhelpful. So you just carve the general volume, and what I recommend is to carve like a skull. So you want to remove the eyes and a little bit of the mouth, so you can really feel later with clay. You can try to push the polyurethane with your fingers, or with more precision you can cut it out. So you keep off the eyes and a space for the mouth and leave like a skull. And now I'm checking the general shape of the body. And what I'm doing is checking and comparing the sketch with the sculpture. So take your time in this stage, because you can realize later that if you are doing quickly now, you are wasting a lot of more time. You will waste more time later. This is very useful to compare like that the drawing and the sculpture, and to check that the general volume, the general shape is inside the drawing. So for example, I can see here that I need to carve a little more volume. Here I need to carve, and back here the same. And here the back sides of the neck, because the neck is like a curve and mine is a little more straight. Ok, ya lo tenemos entonces.